Imagine you fell asleep in 2020 and just woke up today. You walk into a grocery store, you grab a dozen eggs, and the price tag says $4.95. You would think something had gone horribly wrong, because the last time you bought eggs, they were about $1.45. Same eggs, same carton, the same chicken laid them, but the price more than tripled while you were sleeping. So you ask someone, what happened? And they say bird flu. Okay, that makes sense. Hens died, supply went down, but then you look a little closer, and you find out the Guardian investigated the biggest egg companies in America and discovered something uncomfortable. These companies may have used the bird flu as a perfect excuse to push prices way beyond what the actual shortage required. The crisis was real. The price hike? That part was a choice. Now you start walking through the rest of the store, and everything is wrong. Milk is up, bread is up, chicken is up, cereal is up. Your entire grocery bill is almost 30% higher than it was 5 years ago. A third is more expensive for the exact same food. You ask the cashier, you ask your neighbor, you ask the internet, and everyone gives you the same answer. Inflation, just inflation. Like that one word explains everything. It does not. Because what is happening to your grocery bill is not one problem. It is five. 5 different forces stacked on top of each other, each one quietly pulling money out of your wallet. And nobody is explaining all 5 in one place. Until now. So you go to the store, you see the prices, and your first thought is, the store is ripping me off. But here's the thing. The grocery store keeps less than 2 cents out of every dollar you hand them. 2 cents. They are barely surviving on those margins. The store is not the villain here. The villain is further up the chain. It is the company whose logo is on the box. Since the pandemic started, the biggest food companies in the world, think PepsiCo, Nestle, the names on every shelf in every aisle, have watched their profits jump by over 50%. And some of them, way more than that. And they did not even try to hide it. A group called the Groundwork Collaborative pulled the transcripts from hundreds of private calls where these CEOs talked to their investors. And what they found was disgusting. These executives were not panicking about rising costs. They were laughing all the way to the bank, telling their shareholders, we raised prices, and guess what? People just kept paying. Look at Pepsi. One quarter, they jacked prices up 14%, but the amount of stuff they actually sold, it barely moved, up 1%. So they did not sell more, they just charged more, and nobody stopped them. That is what greedflation really looks like. The companies point at inflation and say, we had no choice, but their own numbers say the opposite. Costs went up a little, prices went up a lot. And that gap, that is not inflation. That is profit. And it went straight into their pockets while you stood at the register, wondering why everything costs so much. Now here is where it gets frustrating. Because in a fair market, this should not work. If one company charges too much, someone else steps in and offers a better deal. That is how it is supposed to work. But it does not. Not anymore. Because there is almost no one left to step in. 3 companies, just 3, Walmart, Kroger, and Costco, control about half of every grocery dollar spent in this country. Half of $1 trillion industry. And when you add a couple more names to the list, those top 5 control even more. So when one of them raises prices, the others do not rush to undercut. They look around, see everyone else charging the same, and match it. Why would they go lower? There is nobody forcing them to. And it almost got even worse. Kroger tried to swallow Albertsons, the company behind Safeway, Vons, and dozens of other chains, for almost $25 billion. If that deal had gone through, one company would have controlled a terrifying chunk of the American grocery market. The government caught it and shut it down. But here is the part that should keep you up at night. During that trial, Kroger's own pricing director sat on the witness stand and admitted, under oath, that Kroger had raised the price of milk and eggs beyond what their actual costs required. He said it out loud, in a courtroom, with reporters watching. The company that wanted to become even more powerful had already been reaching into your wallet further than it needed to. And when they were finally asked about it, they could not lie their way out. All right, everything so far, you can at least see. The price goes up, you notice, you get mad, but this one is designed so you never notice at all. Go to your kitchen, grab something you buy every week, a bag of chips, a box of crackers, a jar of peanut butter. Now look at the weight. Compare it to what that same product weighed 2 years ago. Chances are it is smaller. Not the box, not the label, not the price. Just the amount of food inside. They call it shrinkflation. and it has hit about a third of the products on grocery shelves since the pandemic. Here's one that will make your jaw drop. Jif used to sell peanut butter snack cups at one point, 5 ounces. They quietly shrunk them to 1.1 ounces, same cup, same price. But you are now paying 36% more per ounce. You are not saving money. You are just getting less for it. The government's own auditing office found hidden price increases as high as 32% on stuff like coffee, and the number on the price tag never changed once. There is one defense, one tiny number on the shelf tag that almost everyone ignores. It is called the unit price, the cost per ounce. That is the only number in the entire store that tells you the truth. Everything else is designed to distract you from it. If this is connecting the dots for you, hit subscribe. The last 2 forces are the ones that explain why your grocery bill is not going back to what it was. Okay, this one blew my mind when I first learned about it. You know how certain products always seem to be right at eye level, right where your hand naturally reaches? That is not an accident. That is real estate. And the brand paid for it. It is called a slotting fee. A food company pays the grocery store around $1,500 per product per store just to be on the shelf. Not a fancy display, not a special ad, just to sit there. And if that brand wants to be in every location of a national chain, that bill climbs into the millions. Now ask yourself, who pays for that? You do. That cost gets folded right into the price of the product. Every box of cereal, every bag of chips, every can of soda has invisible rent baked into its price. The slotting fee market alone is worth about $9 billion. And that is just the beginning. Companies like Coca-Cola, Frito-Lay, and Mars spend over $50 billion a year on trade promotions. That includes end caps, checkout lane spots, and those big displays you walk past at the front of the store. All of it paid for, all of it is in the price. And here's the part that should bother you. The small brand that might actually be better and cheaper, it cannot afford to play this game, so it gets stuck on the bottom shelf where nobody looks, or it never makes it into the store at all. You are not seeing the best products. You are seeing whoever paid the most to be seen, and the bill for that, it is on your receipt. And now, sitting on top of all 4 of those layers, there is a 5th one, and this one is brand new, tariffs. If you are not sure what a tariff is, think of it as a toll. When food gets imported into the US from another country, it gets taxed at the border, and right now, that tax rate is the highest it has been in almost 90 years. Over half of all the food that comes into this country is being hit by it. Coffee, seafood, produce, wine, baked goods, all of it costs more before it even touches a grocery shelf. But here is the part that really matters. Most of those costs have not shown up in your store yet. Experts say there is a 12 to 18-month lag between when tariffs kick in and when prices fully adjust on the shelf. So the tariffs from 2025, you are only feeling the beginning. The full weight is still coming. One estimate says this is already costing the average family an extra $2,300 a year. And the USDA says prices will keep climbing through 2026. And through all of this, every company, every middleman, every layer, the farmer who actually grew your food takes home 16 cents out of every dollar you spend. 16 cents. The other 84 cents go to everyone standing between the dirt and your dinner table. So now you see it, all 5. The companies making your food are charging more than they need to and bragging about it to their investors. There are so few players left in the market that real competition is basically dead. Your food is shrinking inside the package, and they are betting you will never notice. Brands are paying billions in invisible rent just to sit on the shelf, and you are covering the tab. And a brand new tariff tax is rolling through the system, and it is not fully landed yet. 5 hands, all in your wallet, all at the same time. You cannot tear down the whole system, but you can stop shopping blind. Check the unit price, flip the box over and read the weight. Try the store brand. Buy local when it makes sense. And never ever assume the price tag is telling you the whole story. If this changed something for you, subscribe and tell me in the comments. Which one of these 5 hit you the hardest? I will see you in the next one.